Hi guys, Faylina here. Today I'm going to be making radish kimchi. This is an excellent side dish, and stays a very long time in your refrigerator, so it's one of those on-the-go kind of foods. You can throw it in your lunch or whatever you want. Compared to other kimchis, this one is quite mild in flavor, and it is an excellent beginner kimchi for those that are not normally used to eating spicy or fermented foods. And not only that, but this is easy because it requires very little work, very few steps, and you just basically throw it together in a bowl. I will say this is not a traditional kimchi. This is a vegetarianized version of regular kimchi, and if you leave out the honey and just use more sugar, then it is a vegan kimchi. So let's begin. For this kimchi, you will need one medium-large Korean radish. You can use daikon. The flavor is going to be a little different. You just want about 2 pounds of chopped radish. Now what I did is I chopped this into about 1/4 inch cubes. Okay, and I put 3 tablespoons of salt, just fine ground salt, non-iodized, and I mixed it up really well. And then I filled it up in this bowl with just enough water to cover it. Okay, the water amount is not truly significant. And then I mixed it up and I let it sit on the counter for about 3.5 hours. This is the hardest part about this kimchi, is the waiting. Something you can do in the mid-afternoon when you know you're going to have time. This isn't something you want to have to run out the door, come back. If you oversalt it, it's not good. Try a piece when you first do it before you put the salt on. It's going to be a little crunchy. It might even have a kind of a bitter, very strong taste. It's kind of hard to describe. But after you salt it, you're going to notice that it's not as hard. It's going to have a little bit of salt. It's not going to be overly salty. And still gonna have a crunch, but it's gonna be squishy, but you'll see what I mean when you make it. Another important thing is, before you get to the part that I'm at, where you're gonna throw everything in the bowl, what you want to make sure to do is run this under cold water, not hot water. Rinse it 2 to 3 times until you think you've pretty well got all the salt off, and then shake dry, or like I did, I put it in my salad spinner, and it worked great too. You're going to need Korean red pepper powder. I found out many times before making kimchi out of cabbage that using ground up red pepper, not the same. It has to be these Korean peppers. Now, this is the one I use. I don't understand Korean. I can speak a little. I don't understand how to read it. So, for those who do, this is the brand I get. It's red package. It's made by a company called Sasam Deer. Okay, you're going to need this. You're going to need anywhere from 2 to 8 tablespoons, depending on how spicy you want this. I'm going to go for a medium of the road, and I'm going to use 4 tablespoons. Last time I made it with 2 tablespoons. It wasn't spicy at all, but it was still good. But my husband wanted a little spicier, so that's what we're going to do. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of finely minced ginger and 1 tablespoon of grated ginger, finely grated, juice and all. You're going to need 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. Now, I used a light soy sauce, just a regular brewed soy sauce. You can also use fish sauce, which is the traditional way of making kimchi. You will also need 1/2 tablespoon of sugar and 1/2 tablespoon of honey. If you want this to be a vegan kimchi, you can leave out the honey and just substitute it with 1/2 tablespoon of extra sugar for a total of 1 tablespoon sugar. This is optional, but highly suggested since it gives good flavor. Green onion or spring onion. I'm using 1 small bunch, which is 5 or 6 very small ones, about that long. All you gotta do is you chop off the ends, take the tips off if they're wilted, wash them really good, and dice them up however you want. And that's it, except you might want a glove to wear while making your kimchi, just because it's a little messy, and if you've got any cuts on your hands, this will burn. So what I do first is I take my radish and I put it in a bowl. And then I'm going to add my soy sauce, your ginger and garlic mixture, your honey and sugar mixture, and your 2 to 8 tablespoons of Korean red pepper. I'm going to use 4. You can go as high as 8. I'm sure you could do more if you really wanted to. Just kind of, you want to taste it as you go. And that's it. So some of you are going to be like, hey Faylina, what about the porridge? Yes, most kimchis normally have a sweet rice flour and water porridge. However, after many trial and errors with using this amount of porridge and that amount of porridge, I came up with no porridge, and it tastes fantastic. It still gets preserved, it still gets that spicy flavor, it keeps its crunch, and it still ferments. It doesn't ferment as fast. However, I like that because we don't go through ours as fast. If you want, you can make a porridge with 3 tablespoons of water and 3 tablespoons of sweet rice flour. But, again, not necessary. This kimchi is this easy. You just mix. You want to really work the red pepper powder on every single piece of radish. Very important. Hot, spicy stuff and the salting is what preserves this so it doesn't go sour. So I've literally only mixed this about 45 seconds and I'm pretty well done. Okay, I've got all of my pieces, ginger and garlic and all my sugar mixed around. I don't see any clumps of sugar, I don't see any big bits of honey, and I don't see a big pool of soy sauce. It's kind of all coated. Now what you do is you take your spring onion or any other sauce that you want to use or topping. I've heard people using sesame oil, sesame seeds, carrots, onions, spring onion. It's up to you, okay? But we're just going to use spring onion because it's what we like. I think the flavor of the Korean radish and the spring onion, especially when fermented, is just perfect. That's it. Put them into little containers or big containers. Glass is preferred over plastic, and it'll keep into your fridge for a month or maybe even more. But around my house, it's never lasted more than a month for me to try it. I hope you guys will try this recipe because it's super easy, it's very cheap, it's very good for you, healthy. When it ferments, it tastes fantastic. This can be eaten right away, but tastes better if you eat it the next day. Unlike some kimchis which you have to leave out at room temperature, I find this one's best if you put it directly into your refrigerator. And that's it. You will notice over the next week it will start to release some liquid. That's great. You want it to do that and save that liquid. In upcoming episodes, I'm going to show you how to make a kimchi pancake out of this kimchi, and I will show you how to make other types of kimchi. So please hit the subscribe button if you want to learn more Korean and Asian foods, product reviews, tips, tricks, ideas. Leave me a comment letting me know what you think, or if you have a recipe request. And as always, visit my website, www.faylinamir.com, for more stuff like this. Have a nice day, guys. Bye.